Kentucky Equine Research works with feed manufacturers all over the world. These feed manufacturers feed a lot of different types of horses, different breeds representing different disciplines. One breed that's very important to Kentucky Equine Research are thoroughbreds, and specifically thoroughbred racehorses. Hallway Feeds, who's located in central Kentucky. We've been working with them for over 25 years. They've really been dedicated at the highest level to thoroughbred racing and breeding.
My name's Lee Hall, and I am the Vice President of Hallway Feeds. My sister and I are second generation owners of the company now, and in 2020, our 89-year-old father, still involved, president and kind of our lead mascot and rah-rah spirit man around. Hallway Feeds has been known as Hallway Feeds since 1983, when the mark was first designated, and then we've become more and more known as Hallway Feeds outside of the community as our products spread throughout the United States and overseas. We're an exclusive manufacturer of horse feeds, a medication-free, worry-free facility, as we talk about here, and just continue to grow our footprint in the premium horse feed brand and market, specifically starting with thoroughbred breeding and then going into thoroughbred performance and racing, now into sport horse and the Western disciplines as well.
The line's really grown since we've started our feeds. We have a few really unique products. We can meet the needs of all of their horses right here with Hallway Feeds.
So in the mid-'80s, when Joe kicked off his business, we were made aware of what he was doing by some other people within the animal nutrition business in central Kentucky, and just said, you know, at some stage you should have a conversation with Joe. He's really doing some cutting edge work. He's got some ideas that are unique to the industry, besides providing private consultations, some product development, exercise physiology work, and clearly wanting to continue to delineate ourselves from our competition. We saw that as an opportunity.
Quality starts at the very beginning, and then you move on to the science and the years of experience in working with the researchers and with the horse owners, trainers, the farms, realizing what makes a good product on the other side as well.
This partnership is very much a two-way partnership. Sure, we bring innovations to the table, but also these partners bring us the information that we need about how these products actually perform in the field. And a really good example of that is with Hallway. They began a weighing program back in the early 90s where they go around, Steve Cadell specifically, goes around to different thoroughbred farms and weighs and measures young growing horses, and they've done it for well over 25 years now. We've been given those data, and our assignment is make some sense out of what these numbers mean. What do they really mean to the breeder, and how can they use it to grow a better horse? We've been able to really characterize how thoroughbreds should grow in these different environmental conditions. And we've developed proprietary software that allows the breeder to understand how their horse grows relative to others that are in the same geographic area, the same age, the same gender. We couldn't have developed that information without these partnerships.
KAR has been involved with the formulation of our products, all of our fortification that goes in our products, and then we've had the blessing of working kind of on the front lines with much of the research that's been done at KAR by producing experimental diets, being involved in data collection. So I think we've had a pretty integral part in each other's businesses from the beginning of his, and then from the time when we really began to ramp up our status and our presence within the horse feed manufacturing business. Some of the early stuff we began with were the more bioavailable minerals. Some of the research that KAR did in that area, selenium yeast, some of the information that was available there. We're now doing work and have been for the last few years with seaweed-derived bioavailable calciums. So those are all pieces, and I'm not mentioning all of them, but those are just a few pieces that, as we had the opportunity to layer them in to our nutritional portfolio, we did so directly leading back to work and to research and to studies that KAR has done. And those things have allowed us to differentiate ourselves.
One of the ways we work together with Kentucky Equine Research is relying on them for the absolute expertise when it comes to just the nutritional background, everything they do with exercise research, with digestibility trials, everything we need. When we need to step it up to that level to have a conversation, we call KAR.
We layer in a lot of research. You know, obviously that's the relationship with Kentucky Equine Research that is of highest value, is to have actual research and numbers to support a particular ingredient, a novel ingredient, a new source of a nutrient maybe. To know that there is trials and data to support that use is very important to us. And so we don't change formulations often. We use fixed formulas to start with, but as far as having a Nutrient of the Month club, we're not into the fads, and so we really rely on the science to support our decisions.
So it's very important to us to be able to say that the feeds don't change. And I always give a caveat when I tell people that. They don't change until science proves that there's a reason to change. Kentucky Equine Research works with us and says we need to use more bioavailable minerals. Those are changes we can make, and those are things that we can represent. But we rely on KER for that research that says this specific ingredient or this source of that ingredient is better for the horse. And when they say that, it goes in the feed.
It's always appreciated by the client to have that outside voice that's there looking out in many instances on their behalf to make their situation better or to answer special questions that will improve a particular problem that they have. There's a lot of layers of critical analysis that have to go into place with regard to what we do, and KER, along with a lot of the testing we've done in conjunction with them, has been very, very valuable.